Hey, James here with another interview on the road to Bologna for Riftbound, this time with Alexander the Greatest from Challenger TCG. We go through his backstory with TCGs and how he got to playing Riftbound, as well as how Challenger TCG was formed and the other players that we should expect to see content and hopefully results from as we go through the regional events over the next few weeks. Like and subscribe. Let me know who else you want to be interviewed in the run-up to the event. I mean, we've only got under 2 weeks now before we'll all be in Bologna, seeing who comes out ahead as the first European regional winner. During the interview, Alex touches on which deck he'll be playing and the fact that he'll be piloting Rek'sai, looking for that best of card. It's a great interview, a lot of cool information about Rek'sai, the deck, how it plays and stacks up against the meta, and I hope you enjoy. I'll see you in another interview. Hey everyone, James here with another interview on the road to Bologna for Riftbound, and today I am joined by Alexander the Great. Alex, how are you doing today?
Pretty good. Can't complain.
Good, good. I think people may very well be familiar with your the videos you've done for Challenger TCG as being a part of the team. But I wanted to first dive into your history with TCGs, and just ask like kind of what games have you played before Riftbound? What are your results that you want people to know about on the way to Bologna?
Yeah. So take a little stroll down memory lane, and let's see, it was March of 2002, I think. A set called The Legend of the Blue Eyes White Dragon came out.
Mm,
It was the very first set of the Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game, and that was my first. Like I collected Pokemon cards, but I never played the game,
right.
and was 7 years old at the time, and that was my first jump into card games. Fast forward about let's say it would be 5 years or so. The Naruto CCG came out, and I was a big fan of the show. I was maybe about 13 at the time, 12 at the time, I think, and so I started collecting that. Now, fast forward another 5 years. At 15, I'm still playing the game. I'm starting to travel, play competitively. Game dies right around early mid 2013. And then I get into this game called Force of Will, and I start playing super competitively. I'm traveling. I become one of the top players in that game. Um, keep going a little further. I played a bunch of pretty much every tiny game you can think of, from ranging from I played Runeterra,
Hmm.
I played Argent Saga, I played a game that probably no one's ever heard of called Battle Spirit Saga. It was a Bandai game that died very quickly, and pretty much every tiny little no-name game you can think of uh, from here to Timbuktu, I've pretty much played,
Nice.
and seen some moderate or great success depending on what the game was.
Awesome. Do you
Um,
have a favorite game from that crop of games there, that whether people know it or not?
Toss up between, so the most recent game I played was Star Wars Unlimited. Had a lot
Okay.
of success in that game. Um, it's either that or Force of Will.
Hmm.
Uh, just probably in recent years, though, it's got to be Star Wars Unlimited.
Okay.
Very, really love Star Wars Unlimited.
Cool.
So
Cool. I actually did a demo at UK Games Expo on it, and I sat down, and this is way before Riftbound was really a thing. And I sat down, and I was like, this whole two locations thing, I don't know whether I like that. And now here I am with Riftbound, like, okay, yeah, fine, maybe they were onto
yeah,
something. I know.
yeah, it's actually much less complex than Riftbound too,
Mm,
because you can only play one type of unit to the left side and one type of
yeah.
unit to the right side. So I was overwhelmed with that at first too, but it's once you get into the game, it's actually very simple.
Yeah, no, I mean it had some really cool like I say lore, but the characters are so recognizable. So I thought that was a really cool aspect.
Mhm.
But yeah, nice to hear your pathway, and now here you are in Riftbound. I'm assuming played from kind of like right at the beginning of the Origins. Like I'm assuming you kind of followed the game on its release in China. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would say I started playing. Ooh, I want to say what's October, September, probably Augustish. I started getting into it a little
Hmm.
after. Like I knew I was going to play it, but I was still playing Star Wars. Star Wars Worlds was end of July,
Right.
so I started practicing and getting ready like probably end of Augustish, September-ish, and then I was fully committed at the start of October. I think
Cool.
once my obligations to Star Wars were done.
Nice. So with that in mind, were you a part of Challenger TCG in any capacity? Like, I must admit, I'm not massively familiar with the team structure and whether they're brand new to Riftbound or whether the core existed outside. Could I ask us like how your interactions with them go, Riftbound and wider?
Sure, sure. So pretty much how it worked was in the beginning, I guess a little bit of background about me. Whenever I go and play a new game, I have this whole Rolodex. I describe it like Danny Ocean in Ocean's 11 calling up all the boys for another heist.
Uh-huh.
And so I called up a couple of friends. And first it was me and Anton Billionaire. It was
Mhm.
just the two of us starting. He was playing a little bit before me, but we both started grinding in September. We were both going to do content and we're going to do it individually. And what happened was they didn't make an online client,
Yeah.
and the issue was that they also took down the Pixelborn
Hmm.
one, and I was worried because I said, well, most of my comment was just going to be streaming. I don't know how, like quality video editing. So I said to and Anton Billionaire was going to do the same thing. So I said to him, why don't we just work together on this? And he goes, okay. And I said, I want to bring in a few other people. So we brought my buddy Matt. If you ever get yelled at us on Twitter, that's who's doing it. He runs most of
Okay.
our team social accounts. Uh, Billionaire does most of the YouTube editing. I handle our coaching, and then shortly after, a few weeks after that, we brought in Colin.
Mhm.
He does most of our guide writing. So we brought him in, and then that's the four of us. We're the four owners. And then, of course, in that Rolodex of people, I had a few other friends who were playing the game with us. We have Daniel, you guys know, got second at the regional
Yep.
in Texas. And then we've got a couple other people on the team who just kind of like either some people we've met just in Riftbound that we really liked and added to the team, and then a couple people who've been playing cards with me for the last 5 to 10 years or so. So that's kind of we kind of just created this whole thing pretty much at the start of October. We said we were going to launch with the game. We came up with a plan, and a lot of this was like our Discord and all the ideas. A lot of this was based on what my team had previously done on Star Wars.
Mm.
I wasn't an owner there, but I liked what they did. Their team called KTOD. If you played Star Wars, you've almost certainly heard of them. So I liked what they did, and kind of the basis for Challenger TCG starting off was I kind of copied their model, and then we kind of built on that and kind of turned it into our own identity here.
Nice.
So it's kind of the origins of Challenger TCG.
Awesome. I mean, that sounds like such a good foundation of having people that, all those different bases covered with all the different parts of interacting with a card game online. Because as you said, when you don't have a digital sign up first, there's that moment of, oh, how do we do this? You kind of look at that scale of like to do a studio production is insane. So how do we do this online? So really cool to see how that has evolved and how things kind of go. Would you say it's obviously it's like as a player, your first priority is like your results in the game to some extent. Like, would you say that's still very true for
Mhm.
you? Whereas like your primary goals are compete, perform, win tournaments, and then alongside that is challenger. Is that kind of how things lie for you?
So I've been a very competitive player up until this point,
Hmm.
and I can say by no, not even a stat pad here too much. I by no imagination stretch of the imagination been like a pretty much a top five player in every game I've played
Hmm.
that I was competitive in. I mean, some of the smaller ones I didn't stick around long. Like I played Runeterra, I was not a top five player in that game. I can tell you that. But a lot of the smaller games I've played, I've been extra competitive, and I'm actually kind of enjoying the business aspect because one thing I'll use Battle Spirits as an example. That game was very small game, but it was supported by Bandai. They gave out 1.3 million in cash,
Mm.
but there was no money to be made on the business side because not enough people played the game. My earnings were all tied to my performance, and
Okay.
it's really quite stressful, to be honest. So I like the business aspect because my goal is still to be competitive. Don't get me wrong. I'm trying to go out there and try my hardest every damn event. But now, let's say I come up short, I still have something to fall back on. I
Hmm.
have a business. I have something extra there. Uh, Kind of like almost like a safety cushion, so to speak. So my objective first and foremost is honestly the business as of right now, but part of that business is going out there and being the best. So they kind of go hand in hand. That's what we're selling. We're selling that we're the best, that we're competitive. So like I said, it's yeah, my priority is to be the best, but my priority is also to make sure the business functions well. And like like I said, those things kind of just go together.
Cool. Yeah, I mean that makes absolute sense, and that's really interesting to hear that kind of difference of leaning into the business side while still working on the competitive side. So I'm looking forward to seeing how yours and the team results go at Bologna. Let's talk about Bologna. That's kind of one of the reasons why I want to speak to you. Uh, Looking at that first, major European regional. Obviously, I have the inkling you're traveling for it, hence this conversation.
Yeah.
How about the rest of the team? How many members have you got attending that you know of currently?
All right. So right now we have myself, Anton, Colin, Daniel, Cody. I think it's just the five of us, if
Mhm.
I'm not mistaken. Let me verify here for a second. Just run through
it
my
it's not
my
a quiz. Don't
Rolodex one
worry.
last
It's
time.
okay if
Yeah,
the
it is
answer's
just
not quite right.
it is just the five of us. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Just checking real quick. Yeah, it's just the five of us.
That's all right. And then obviously, like looking at competition and that, I'm interested to hear. I won't ask you to divulge too much about whether you have team strategy, but that is always one of my favorite things coming from a Magic background. Is the teams when you're attending an event, the boot camp that happens before it, like testing. We were talking before I hit record on the interview that you're doing some testing later today. So how is that process been as you've grown and expanded the team out? Like how is your testing process for Riftbound?
So yeah, I mean, we're pretty much an open book, and we divulge everything through our content. If you're in our Discord, you kind of know that we're an open book. We don't hide anything. There's no some stuff we give to our subs, some stuff we save for ourselves. It's all out there, and even a lot of that stuff is out there on to the public on our YouTube, on our live
Mhm.
streams if you follow us. So our testing process is, I mean, it's simple, but it's also like pretty in depth. And what I mean by that is, I mean, we're doing kind of what you should be doing. We're coming up with new decks. We're testing the decks against each other. We're seeing how they do second, how they do going first. Uh, we're seeing how they do going second. We see how they're doing going first. We're playing games one, two, and three. We've got a
Mhm.
spreadsheet. We're checking. We're keeping track of win rates. Trying different battlefields, seeing the win rates with battlefields. We're keeping notes. So in on paper, it sounds like something simple, right? This is what you
Mhm.
should be doing. But when you really start breaking it down and doing it all, you're like, wow, this is a lot of work.
It's a lot
And
of work. Yeah.
yeah, and we're in there sometimes 6, 8 hours a day in rotations. We've got some people who are playing games, other people who are watching those people, commenting over the game, saying, all right, this can be done better. We should be doing this, walking through lines,
Mhm.
trying to determine what we can do better. We're in there recording games, but we're doing on all of this on top of trying to run our business too.
Right.
So trying to figure out new ways to integrate this into our business, whether it's live streaming our games in the Discord, recording them for VOD content, discussing some of this stuff or playing games on live stream on YouTube or using it for video ideas. So there is kind of a trying to reach a balance. Like
Mhm.
there's only so many hours in a day, and we put a lot of work into our content. But we also part of what we're selling, like I said, is being competitive.
Right.
So we need to make this balance between producing content, but also having enough time to test and stay competitive.
Yeah,
Um,
of course, and that makes total sense. With a team direction, uh, do you think you'll, if you've determined this already, do you think you lean towards the we're a team and we play one deck and that's our team deck, or are you kind of like individual players and like I think this deck's the best placed, so I'm going to play this, and it might be different to what the rest of the team is playing because I see different things in different games and how different teams act with that.
So something I believe before playing Star Wars Unlimited is that there our team almost always had a team deck,
Hmm.
maybe one or two decks. Like maybe there's two decks.
Sure.
And I was a strong believer of if you're testing as a team, there should be a team deck. But
Hmm.
Star Wars Unlimited, and for those of you that know about this game, is was very much a very well designed skill based game where you were better off just being a master of your domain than you were trying to conform to a team deck. And I think a lot of the good players kind of see those results. We have a lot of one tricks or players who are known for their decks. And it did open my eyes a little bit more to the idea that there can be more than just a team deck. Now,
Hmm.
all that being said, we are still competitive players.
Yes.
There is still like okay, these are the decks you should be playing. Nobody should be going off the beaten path too much without a reason.
Hmm.
And in Riftbound, that reason is meta leaders. So
Yes. Yeah.
if we're talking about teammates who are playing a deck that's way off the beaten path, we're asking why. And usually the answer should be metal leaders, and we discuss, okay, is there a good chance for a metal leader here? Do we get some sort of marketing for the business out of
Mhm.
this? Do you truly believe? In some cases, it's a deck that's not the best, but we have people that are really good with what they do. Cody tops with Victor
Right.
at the last regional, and I mean, I don't think a lot of people thought that deck was great. Like it's an okay deck, but I think just he put so much time and effort into it. He was able to get top cut and get the best of Victor with that. He was the only Victor in top cut. So I think spending that time, there is something to be said for that. To answer your question in a shorter term, I think going forward, we'll probably have somewhere between 1 to 3 decks between the team,
Okay.
especially when there are multiple decks viable. But when we're in a more strict format where we're only seeing like maybe 1 or 2 viable decks, like right now,
Mhm.
we're going to have a much more condensed opinion unless
Sure.
someone is metal leader hunting. So personally, I am for whatever people think they can do best with, but there's also common sense. There's a
Yeah.
time when if my teammates are playing something that I think is crazy and I'm just like, look, I got to talk you out of this, man. This is not a good deck choice. It's not a good metal leader choice. Please do not play this deck. So yeah, I think it's kind of a give and take with everything when it comes to what decks you're playing. And I think one thing you have to learn is trying to force a team deck.
Mhm.
I've seen that in the past where sometimes it does work out, but a lot
Yeah.
of times it doesn't, especially when you have a lot of people who are comfortable on different things.
Yeah, and I think historically you're totally right. Sometimes you are like so well placed in the meta, and you're like, yes, we're ahead of the curve. But if team practice is like very siloed off, and you don't read the meta right, it kind of like can really put a team behind. You sometimes I've seen it in Magic with all kinds of different teams. They think they're bringing the best deck, and actually somebody else did something in practice that they didn't even bother to research, and it blows everybody out of the water. And means that it just kind of rock paper scissors your deck out of contention. But I do want to talk about one deck that you actually posted today. So I'm gonna plug your content again, and I'll let you do it at the end.
Appreciate
I
that.
saw you did a Rek'sai guide today, and Rek'sai was one of the champions I was quite interested to see come to Spiritforged and refound with the mechanics, both on kind of like the ability to bring creatures out of your deck a little bit more than other decks, but the Phoenix mechanics. How well placed do you think Rek'Sai is right now in the meta?
Huh. So speaking of decks that trying to drag your teammates off of crazy decks, Rek'Sai might be one of those decks.
Mhm.
So right now, I think I would still put Rek'Sai in C tier.
Sure.
I actually think Rek'Sai does quite well into a large portion of the meta. The exception being Draven, specifically Miracle Draven. I
Okay.
think Miracles are a deck that it really struggles with right now. However, I do like my positioning versus a lot of the other decks in the meta. Love my positioning against any of the Victor control decks. Like my positioning against the Kaisa control decks.
Mhm.
Like my positioning against Aurelia. I'm still kind of working out the kinks versus Fiora and Ezreal, as those decks are a little bit newer. Although I have played some amount of Ezreal, and I'm feeling pretty good, at least versus the Rat Cole version of Ezreal.
Mhm.
Have to test a little bit more versus the more passive control version of Ezreal, but I'm liking kind of my matchups there. Fiora got a little bit more to work on, but I think actually this deck would be a solid top of B tier, bottom of A tier if you remove specifically miracles.
Hmm.
It's not even. I think Draven's actually manageable, especially when you play into people who are not so familiar with the Rek'Sai matchup. That being said, I think that Miracles is just like when they do their thing and the deck just pops off, it's very, very hard to win in that matchup. And I'm spending all week in the lab trying to experiment, trying to make it better. I'm actually even in the main Discord. I'm talking to people about ways that I'm trying to work on this. I'm trying some crazy stuff like Divine Judgment in the side, Grand Stratagems in the main. So I'm reformatting my deck, and I'll if I stick with those changes, I'll even update my guide
Mhm.
accordingly and my like kind of update that with the video profile and stuff. So yeah, I like Rek'Sai. It's my pet deck. I think unfortunately, I say unfortunately, I think I'm locked on it now.
Okay.
Is it a deck that? Yeah, yeah.
No, I don't say
So
that in like disbelief. I just was gonna. My qualifier was when you say locked on that. Is that the deck you'll be running in Bologna? Are you ready to talk about
I
that?
yeah. So if that's our next step, we can get into that. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's I want to ask one question because I tried Rek'sai a
Sure.
little bit a while back, nowhere near to the level of testing. So I watched part of your video as well, and I think it kind of confirms a bit of what I felt is that like without Accelerate, the Phoenixes don't seem enough of a threat to be like. I played other games where you recur something from a graveyard and it comes in and immediately makes an impact. Whereas for me, like the underwhelming thing was like I bring a Phoenix back and it's tapped. And then I wait a turn and try and do something. Would you say that's fair to say is like that difference of like slow speed Phoenixes compared to like accelerated scoring points quickly? Is that a good read on it, or is that just like the you've played one game
Yeah,
and clearly it hasn't worked for
yeah,
me?
yeah, and I'll talk. I can talk about that more with the deck, kind of too. But yes, I do think that one of the issues with Phoenix decks up to this point is they are kind of slow,
Mhm.
and this deck is like truly a tempo deck at its core. I think I see people call it Rek'Sai Control. I see people call it Rek'Sai Aggro, but tempo is truly a mix of both.
Mhm.
And that's why I think Rek'Sai is just like is a truly a tempo deck at its core, in the fullest sense of the word.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay. And you said we can get into Bologna deck choice perhaps. Is Rek'Sai the deck that you'll be taking to Bologna?
yeah, I think I'm locked on it.
Okay.
Unless something drastic happens, I'm not gonna try to like. I'm not trying to like throw anybody through a loop here. I think I'm locked on Rek'Sai. Something drastic would have to change for me to want to switch last minute, especially since it's the deck I'm most well versed in.
Mhm.
But yes, I think I'm locking Rek'Sai. I'll be totally honest. I know I talked about being competitive is tied to my content, and I will say this is a deck that I think has a very long shot to make top eight. Top 64, I think is very doable. Top
Mhm.
eight, I think it's a very long shot, but I like this deck. I think part of our content too is we have to show how to be competitive with decks
Sure.
beyond just Draven, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm not. I won't lie to you. If you're looking for the best Garen deck, we're probably not the like. We'll help you. We'll help you. We can do our best, but you're probably not going to catch me playing the best Garen. You're not going to catch me playing Garen probably. My
Sure.
goal is to try to do the best I can with decks that I think have game.
Mhm.
Get decks that, even though it's C tier, I think this deck has game. I believe in this deck. I think the meta is a little high power for it right now, but I do believe uh, with some potential format adjustments, this deck has a real chance to shine. And I don't think this is a bottom of the barrel deck by any means. I'd love to win the metal card too, since I put so much
Mhm.
effort into this, and that is part of our content too. Is
Yeah.
just we have a lot of people in that our Rek'Sai chat, people asking for tips all the time, is trying to make decks that do have some competitiveness to them, showing people how they can be competitive, saying, no, you're right, this deck isn't a top eight deck, but I made top 64 with this. If you play hard enough, you can actually get your invite or get your metal card, make day two with this deck. So that's kind of what I'm aiming to bring by playing this Rek'Sai deck. And I love the deck. It's a lot of fun to play. So
Yeah, I mean, it looks a lot of fun. With a few games I've had, I had a good time playing. And I best of luck for top 64.
yeah,
I
yeah, of
feel
course.
like that would be a big achievement to get that top break side as well. So I have my fingers crossed for you. Last couple of questions. I've asked everybody the same set, so I'm just getting the same like opinions on the same few things. And it's quick fire, but you can think about it for a little bit as long as
Sure.
you want. So what is your favorite Riftbound card to play?
Oh God, favorite Rift Round card. I mean, you can ask the guys. I've been trying to make Divine Judgment work since day one. I read this card. I said, "Whoa, this
Yeah.
kills lands. Like this gets rid of lands. This is broken." Like, so Divine Judgment. I mentioned it too. I'm trying to cite it now.
Mhm.
I put that card in any deck that I ever get the chance to play it in. Like I said, I just big fan of Divine Judgment. I have not been able to. Divine Judgment set was one of the decks we
Yep.
were testing before we eventually settled on cutting Divine Judgment. But yeah, Divine Judgment is the card that I'm always trying to break.
Divine Judgment set took me out of Summoner Skirmish, so I'm not super happy about it. It was game three, and I got Divine Judgment in, and I was like, well, I guess I just lose the game now.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
done. Cool. In that case, the opposite question of least favorite card to play against.
Oh God, what is my least favorite card to play against? Oh, this is a hard one. So honestly, trying to play Rek'sai before I had kind of made some improvements to it, I absolutely despise Falling Star. I
Mm.
cannot, and I play it in my deck, but my God, can I not stand that card? I absolutely despise it. With every fiber of my being, I despise Falling Star. Ferris Forerunner, I
Okay.
it's like honorable mention. Ferris
Mhm.
Forerunner, Rebuke's like kind of up there for me, but like Ferris Forerunner again, it's just like the absolute best card against Rek'Sai, but
Mhm.
it's just a card that I don't feel was properly designed. I mean, it gives 12 points of stats on a 6 drop. Uh, Mountain Drake, for reference, is a 9 drop that gives 10 points of stats.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, I think it was just not a well designed card, but yeah, Ferris Forerunner is the second, probably, then maybe Rebuke. But yeah,
Okay.
Falling Star is absolute worst.
Sure. And to point out your Rek'Sai guide as well, I heard you talking about Ferris Forerunner in that guide and why it's placed in the Rek'Sai deck. So again, for those of you watching that want to have more info on that, check out the Challenger TCG guide for Rek'Sai. Last one then is, and this can be the same as your favorite card. What would you say is the most underrated card so far in Riftbend?
So in Spiritforged, a card I think that's really underrated is Yone. I think we
Okay.
made a Twitter post about that at one point. I had mentioned that to our Twitter guy Matt. I said this card seems criminally underplayed, and I get orange is not like the best right now, but I feel this card is just so criminally underplayed. What's another really underrated card? I feel like this is one I wish I had known in advance because I probably have one. And as soon as we hang up this call, I'll be like, "Oh my god, I it's sitting on my desk right here. How did I not think about it? It's literally right there in a pile." But yeah, I think the first one that comes to mind, at least from set 2, is Young.
Okay.
I think this card is so good
Mhm.
um, for what it does and what it is. So yeah,
And now you said that yeah, Orange Yoda is the one that everybody got at pre-release, so it's gonna forever be a
yeah,
cheap card, which is great if people start
yep.
playing it. It means there's plenty in the wild. Well, thank you so much, Alex, for your time for this interview. I look forward to seeing you in Bologna. We've talked a lot about kind of like Challenger TCG with content. Where can people find your content, your guides, your coaching as well? We didn't even get into that, but I'd love if you want to like plug where people can look to get coaching from you too.
Absolutely. So you can check out our YouTube. That's just at Challenger TCG on YouTube. We've got a Metafy, also just at Challenger TCG. We've got a Discord as well. If you see my live streams, you've seen me do the sales pitches over and over again. So I'll give a real quick one right now. We've got a Discord. We've got coaching. If you check out our Metafy, for just $10 a month, you get access to our whole Discord. That's with all of our members of the team in there. That's with you get access to, you can talk to any of us. You get access to a huge community. I think we're at 350 people right now. $20 a month, you get access to all our deck lists. My favorite tagline is, if we have a secret tech, you have a secret tech. And what that means is that if we don't hide anything, everything's live updated. If we break the meta wide open with the deck, well, you've broken the meta wide open with the deck now too. That's all yours. And then for $50 a month, you get access to our diamond tier. What that means is every Tuesday we do a review stream where we are doing VODs, and you get to submit those VODs yourself. So you can submit VODs you want us to review every week. We do it live in a Discord stream, and we record those too. So if you miss it or you can't be there, don't even worry. We'll have it in the Discord for you. We also give discounts on all of our guides when you subscribe to us. You get all of our, at $50, you get all of our guides for free while you're a diamond member. We have 5 guides right now. That's $140 worth of guides you get just for subscribing to our diamond tier for $50. So, and we do coaching. We're doing live streams 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a week, depending on what's going on. We're doing the absolute most on top of doing all of our testing 6 to 8 hours every day. So we are trying to provide the best service we can for you guys. So please check us out. Throw us a like on YouTube, or just say hi. Throw us a comment. Whatever you got. We're here to help any way we can.
Amazing. That was a very well practiced sales pitch, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. Thank you so much, Alex. We will see each other in Bologna.
See you in Bologna.